Okay, so continuing 6.2. So yesterday at the end of the assignment, you should have done problems like, let's say, 12 to the 3 over 2 power. And you were just going to say, okay, well, the denominator is the root and the numerator is the exponent. And you didn't actually do anything with those. You just left it like that was the answer. Okay, and so you also could have had like that, and so you would have said, well, 18, and then the 3 or the exponent is the numerator and the root is the denominator, and that was your answer. So you just kind of did back and forth. Okay, so what you really want to remember is we have a base, and that's the 12 and the 12, or the 18 and the 18, and then for the fraction, the numerator is on top, or excuse me, the numerator is the number that's on top. I should have wrote exponent. And then the denominator is the root, square root, cube root, and so on. Okay, so today you're going to do kind of like figure out like what's the actual like answer. So if we had 16 and 3/4 power, so we want to change that to, we always want it to be in a radical because we can figure that part out. The fraction exponent we can't. Okay, so remember this fourth root means what times what times what times what equals 16. So with that many numbers, it's got to be small. So it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So what we have is 2 to the third power. So 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so here's kind of you started with 16, and then we did 3/4 power. So since that fraction 3/4 is less than 1, the number of your answer is going to get smaller. So we started with 16 and we went down to like 8. Okay, so let's see if I turn it over. So this one, numerator is the exponent, the denominator is the root. So remember, with negative numbers, if you have an odd root, it's possible to do that. If it's an even one, you can't do it. Okay, so again, we're looking for what times what times what equals negative 27, and that would be negative 3. So okay, that means I need to do negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. So remember, if you want to do it like this, like you can group them. I like doing it like this because negative negative is positive 9. Negative negative is positive 9. And then I don't have to worry about the negatives like kind of going back and forth. So I get 81. Okay, so and then again, we have 4 over 3 is bigger than 1. So the answer, whether it's positive or negative, could be different depending on the numbers. But it's either going to get bigger than 27 but still negative, or bigger than 27 and turn positive like this one did. Okay, so you'll have a few, 6 of them actually, where you'll have it'll start like this or like this. Okay, and then you need to work it down to just a number. Problem, this is the top part, just a review, but like I wrote down, okay, I did this, 4 through to 16 is 2, then 2 to the third power equals 8. I just didn't write 8. Okay, so you need to take the number with the fractional exponent, rewrite it as a radical, do the radical part, then do the exponent. Like, write it all down. If you don't want to write the 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16 part, like, that's fine. But minimally, I should see that or that. Oh, actually, if you don't want to write the 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 part, but you need to figure out that we get 81. Okay? And then the last, you have a couple where you want to figure out what was the mistake that got made. And then the last 4 kind of involves some stuff, kind of a combination of a couple things. Okay, so so if we have a negative exponent, okay, so remember negative exponents, our rule that we talked about was we're going to flip and the exponent becomes positive. So I need to put it like that, and then I can do the exponent becomes positive. So really what we're doing here, it's kind of like 2 separate problems, but the denominator is the root and the numerator is the exponent, and then I do the same thing on the bottom. So it's really nice, like whenever you're dealing with the number 1, 3rd root, 4th root, 5th root, 6th root, it's always 1 to any power. It's always going to end up just being 1. So it's kind of a little shortcut. But all right, the 3rd root, what times what times what equals 216. And that's one that I said would be good to remember. So we have 6 squared 36. Okay, so you're going to have 2 problems that start like this, where it's already a fraction, and then you have a fraction as the exponent, and you want to break it apart into the 2 smaller, do the 2/3 power with the 1 and 2/3 power with the 216. Okay, so you'll have 2 of them that'll be set up like that with positive exponents, but fractions. And then the last 2 will start like this, where you have just a number. Excuse me again. But it'll be a negative exponent, and then you need to like rewrite it as a fraction with the positive exponent, and then you do each number like separately. Okay, so it's just 12 problems, 23 to 34. Again, they should go fairly quickly. They're not anything crazy. There's a couple numbers that are a little bit bigger, so if you want to use a calculator with those, that's fine. But just write down what you're doing. Do not just write an answer down. I mean, I've written down on each. So write your stuff down. Do not just write an answer. That will not get you credit. Okay? All right. So we'll keep pushing forward tomorrow. We'll kind of add to it a little bit, talk about some exponential functions, but we'll finish up with radicals and rational exponents today. Okay? Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow.